What up, YouTube? Today I have a game in an odd tank. You don't see many Centennials out there anymore. And there's a reason, to be honest. This tank is not that great. I made a deal with someone who was very generous in my Twitch chat that I would 3-mark this tank. And I regret that very much because, man, has this thing been power crept out of just being good. Let me show you a clip of its armor profile real quick before we get into this game. This is a tier 8 Chinese tank destroyer, and he smacked me literally at the worst angle possible and still penned the top of my roof. So keep that clip in mind when we go into this game where we've already started and I'm just sitting still, but we are bottom tier on Assault. Malinovka Assault. Which means we're at the top because we're defending and they have to come to us. And as a bottom tier tank, what really am I supposed to do besides maybe just sit up here and snipe with everyone else? Now this tank has 240 alpha. It is a 90mm gun. It's got 1500 shell velocity on its premium rounds, so that's pretty good. But its armor and its mobility and its camo factors just all kind of aren't great. I mean, it can definitely camo up if you're using bushes properly, but like so can any tank. But its mobility is a bit lacking, and its armor, as you saw in that clip, I don't know how I bounce anything in this tank at this point, because the amount of pens I've seen in the parts where you think you do have armor, you know, your mantle, your face, your upper plate, your roof, you think the places I'm gonna take damage are gonna be my massive cupola and my lower plate, which is also massive because this is a chieftain's hull. But I've been penned in my upper plate using my 10 degrees of gun depression by tier 8s plenty of times, my face, the roof again, as you saw, and even the places where I have sandbags, which do actually give you increased space armor. But this tank's armor is an oddity to me because it randomly wants to bounce big caliber round, and you'll see that in this match. But we're just starting off here. I've gotten 2 shots in so far. I was hoping to get another one on this T-57, but his friend's drive wheel just got in the way and he backs off just in time. And as you can see, we're just sitting up here. We're just minding our own business, I suppose, waiting to see how the game develops. And I am tempted to try and get spotting damage since I'm a bottom tier tank, but I'm afraid of getting YOLO'd, especially since there's that machine there. And our Valor just died, and he was the one doing the spotting at this point. And so, I don't know if I really do want to go out there. And actually, I think the machine is dead at this point. But I don't think I realized that until later on in the video. Speaking of the video, I want to mention, if you don't care for the commentary that I am providing in this one, I will have a unlisted playlist of my future, and this one included, gameplays without any commentary, so there'll just be raw footage. If you just prefer watching the game and not hearing me ramble on about other things and, you know, making play-by-play commentary, then that will be there for you. There will be a card right now up in the top right. There will be a playlist link in the description. The videos will be unlisted, so you don't see them in my video feed, but there will be a playlist of them for you guys to check out if you do prefer just raw footage. But again, we've done nothing so far besides 2 shots worth of damage and a bit of shared assisted damage. And I notice over here that their light tank is dead, so is ours, but their light tank is dead, and our heavy's pretty deep. So I think most of their tanks are probably in the top left area. So I'm going to go over to this position where you would normally go in the bottom right spawn for spotting. And I'm going to see what I can do here. I'm going to try and get shots across, and this chisel is YOLOing his life away. Get a nice shot into him to get the kill. I almost missed it because he got tracked, and then he repaired as I'm fixing my aim and all that, but this T-77 is deciding to go in, so I'm going to let him do that. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to let me get shots on whoever he spots, because he's going to just rush them and they're not going to poke the corner. But I do get shots on this ISM, and I'm pretty bad at the game, if you can't tell, because I hit the drive wheel, and then I bounce. Just not good. But I do spot this 4202P. Another drive wheel shot. And he's going to go and spot it because he's in a thick bush. But I get some more spotting damage and I get a blind fire shot. And I'm going to blind fire here again. But as I do, there he went. He's running for it. And he's getting a little close to me. So I back up behind the bush, hope it was enough, and it wasn't. I'm not surprised. I probably got spotted by the dudes to my right, to be honest. That's a possibility. Although there are bushes there. Maybe I didn't. Gonna just wait till I'm unspotted. We kind of brought this back. We were down 1 for quite a bit, but now we're up 1. That dude gets hit for 850. I don't know what's up on the hill, but they hit him hard. Now, I noticed this M48 patent, and if you know anything about the M48 patent, it's got 420 meters base view range. What do I have? 380, if I'm not mistaken. So I was hoping he'd go first and go up here, but I said, you know what? If he wants to sit back, I might as well try and get my spotting now. And so I come to this position that light tanks like to come to, and I'm hoping this is just going to work. I'm hoping the heavies don't have shots on me. I'm hoping to spot whatever's sniping back here, and I do neither of that. And the heavy starts shooting at me. This Chrysler K cannot get shot from the hill, and I don't believe the patent, well, definitely now, because you can see the patent's under the ridge line now. But I kill this tier 10. He's gone. But this Chrysler K, even though he's sticking his foot out first, and I do get a shot there, he's going to be very hard to hit for the rest of this battle. And I don't know what else is up here. I do know now that there's a Death Star, but I don't want to peek too much. But knowing how shallow this area is, I know I can kind of peek and not get killed, possibly. Only peek out my turret, almost. Although my rear is pretty high up there. But this Chrysler K is giving me knowledge of how this ridgeline could be used by where he's shooting at me and where he's bouncing. And I'm surprised that I am bouncing him. He bounced me once already. And now I'm hoping he won't have shots on me while I go for this Death Star. And there's another drive wheel shot that does 0 damage, but I know he's at an angle now where I can do damage, and I start doing that damage, and he starts to turn his turret towards me. There it is. So I get a little bit of scared. A bit of scared. I get scared and back off. Chrysler K still bouncing me. It looked like he had a shot at my lower plate with the way his gun was angled. I think he hit my upper plate, and I got lucky there. Waffle, baby Waffle, coming in to just run at the patent. And I'm hoping the patent, you can see that he's like kind of poking up over there to the right. I'm hoping he comes back down because I need him. The Chrysler K does finally get a hit into it. I think it was the Chrysler K. It might have been the other guy that's further back there. But this Waffle, I'm hoping he just tracks me, but no, he gets right into my side. And now I completely ignore him because I know I'm not going to reload in time because the patent comes out and this Death Star needs to go. And oh my god. What was I saying earlier about that shot where I got penned in my roof by a tier 8 tank destroyer? How do I bounce a Death Star? I have no clue, but this armor decides to work whenever it wants to. And I'm glad it worked there because I end up having a really good game, obviously, since this is on YouTube. But there's a full health 257 still over there. Their team is now crumbling. It was 8-7 earlier. We still got 8. Now it's 8-3. I noticed the timer, though. And this is why I don't like Assault. Because 1, you have bad spawns. And 2, you have 10 minutes to play the game. And I'm getting... I should have moved up in hindsight right here. But I'm getting shots on the 257. So... And I was hoping it's not a patent, it's an indent panzer, would stay there. And also, I wasn't paying attention to the timer during the game. But now, knowing the timer's there, and hearing it tick down, I'm like, Okay, I need to just run at this guy and hope he didn't move. But also, let's try driving to the left here just in case he did. Because I'll be able to poke both sides, and either corner he's on, I'll be able to turn the same amount. Luckily, I did do that because he did turn this way. And he's just running for his life. We got less than 30 seconds of the game, and he's got 1,000 HP, and he's just going to run over here and do nothing. And now I'm hoping he stays under the little ridge there so that I can jump on top of him to do more damage, because I'm not going to be able to reload in time for enough shots. Unfortunately, I do get a shot in, but he doesn't do it, so I ram him. I do more damage than he does to me. Get my last shot in, he bounces, and that's time. Yay, 10 minutes to play the game with spawns that just aren't fun. But why complain when I just had a 5,000 damage game and a bottom tier matchup on Assault, and I bounced a Death Star. 2334 basic speed. Of course that's an ace tanker, right? But imagine how it could have been 2400 if I killed that Inden Panzer. 10 medals, 5,000 damage, 1,000 assisted, 3270 blocked. This tank does not do that very well, and yet I did 3270 block damage. Death Star was a third of that, though. I'm really surprised I didn't die there, but there's a Levislahos medal. I'm probably saying that wrong. There's an ace tanker, and I was at like 92% at this thing one time, but we're now at 89. That game brought us up 1.6% or something like that. 1.4%, I should say. And there you have it. A bottom tier matchup Assault in a pretty mid tier tank that's been kind of power crept out of it. All these other 90 mils getting 280 alpha, and this thing's stuck with 240 still, and it's lackluster armor. I'm hoping to see this thing in one of the reforges, but until then, I guess I gotta get back to grinding that 3 mark. I'll catch you in the next one, and take care.